Disney Animated Studios' 60th film, Encanto, took the world by storm in late 2021 for many reasons, but mostly the music, touching storyline, and authentic representation of Colombian culture. But moreover, the music is the working of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is also the mastermind behind Hamilton. I've also made a video on that musical, which I've included a link to in the description and on your end screen. Today, I'm going to share 8 things I recently learned about this compelling modern Disney feature. But first, I want to give a warm welcome to anyone who's new to my channel. Here at From Laura's Perspective, I post a new video essay on one of a wide array of topics at least once a week. Yes, we're going to talk about Bruno in addition to talking about the many different facets of Encanto. Fact number 1. Encanto is Disney Animation Studios' 60th animated film. If you're thinking, wait, Disney's released a lot more movies than that, you're probably thinking of films released by their subsidiaries, such as Pixar, Disney Channel, Star Wars, Marvel, and others. Not to mention Disney's own live-action films. As far as Disney's own animated studio films, Encanto is the 60th one ever made and released. Just from watching it, you can tell that it's come a long way since their first feature film made in 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Encanto could have been made and released a little earlier, not only if not for the COVID-19 pandemic, but our next fact as well. Next, we're going to learn about the long stretch of effort that went into making Encanto. This whole project started way back in 2016 when Zootopia had just been released and Moana was in the works. The team behind Disney Animation's Encanto gave themselves a high degree of difficulty. In a development production process that took 5 years of constant rewrites, they insisted on a film with a family of 12 main characters, while most animated films center on half that number. It's probably not much of a surprise given the final outcome and the film's popularity and commercial success. Encanto was written by Jared Bush and Charisse Castro-Smith from a story credited to 6 writers, including Bush and Smith. Castro-Smith and Bush directed alongside Byron Howard. The film team did extensive research on 2 important aspects of Encanto: the setting and family dynamics and psychology. They took a long trip to various parts of the South American nation of Colombia, where the film is set, to learn all about the country's landscape, culture, and history. To authentically portray family dynamics among the Madrigals, they interviewed family therapists and psychologists. So how old is each Madrigal child when they get their gift? Abuela Alma states at the beginning of Encanto that each child born into Casita is given a special power when they come of age. But when do they come of age? That's not stated outright. But, as Lin-Manuel Miranda put it, they get their gifts when they're 5 years old. This isn't very far-fetched, given that Antonio appears to be 5, as do Mirabel, Peppa, Julieta, and Bruno in flashbacks to their gift ceremonies. Miranda explained that he chose 5 as the age for the gift ceremonies because that's the age when children generally start to define themselves with a label. Next, we're going to learn about the very famous mastermind behind this movie's incredible, memorable soundtrack. You know how in We Don't Talk About Bruno, characters sing different verses that overlap each other? Doesn't that sound kind of like songs such as 96,000 from In the Heights or Nonstop from Hamilton? Well, surprise, surprise, the talent behind the songs of the two aforementioned musicals, Lin-Manuel Miranda, is also the talent behind the songs from Encanto. The clever rhyme schemes, musical composition, storytelling, and authenticity when it comes to Latinx culture transition from the stage to the screen in Disney Animated Studios' 60th film. And it just wouldn't be the same if the music were written by anyone else. Next, we're going to learn that there were some Madrigals who didn't make it into the final movie. Think the Madrigals are a big bunch? Well, there are way fewer people living in Casita than the writers wanted. We know this because of early concept art that's been made available to the public. One of these was a pair of twins named Amelia and Sophia, who were originally inseparable, but developed a bitter rivalry towards each other when their contrasting auras were released at their 15th birthday party. A character named Zoe was going to have the gift of communicating with and magically repairing machinery. In the original Madrigal family portrait, there was a girl named Fuega whose anger gave her the ability to create fire, similar to Peppa's power of controlling the weather with her emotions. Said portrait also contains a girl named Princesa, who has princess vibes that were eventually merged with Isabella's flower powers. The woman standing next to Augustine in this portrait is a woman named Veranda, and she is shown carrying a rabbit, which implies she had a connection with animals similar to Antonio's. Her close position to Augustine implies she was an early prototype of Julieta. I'm sure we would have all loved to see these characters in the movie, but they were just too many for a 90-minute film. But we're still glad to have the ones that remained, eh? Fact number 6. Mirabel is the first female Disney protagonist to wear glasses. Glasses wearers everywhere were thrilled to learn that Disney Animation Studios was finally releasing a film with the bespectacled protagonist, Mirabel Madrigal. This is actually perfect for a character for whom part of her name comes from the Spanish word mira for see or look. This is meant to be symbolic of the difference of perspective Mirabel brings to the Madrigal family, which ultimately saves their magic. Oh, but there's more. You may notice that her frames are the same shade of green as Bruno's shirt. This is meant to symbolize the connection between Mirabel and Bruno. They both hold the commonality of being one of two main black sheep in the Madrigal family, and Mirabel is ultimately the one who bridges the gap that severed Bruno from the rest of the family for 10 years. Some have gone so far as to say that Mirabel breaks ground by being a Disney princess with glasses, but that's highly debatable since Mirabel does not have royal blood, nor does she even join a royal family like Tiana does at the end of The Princess and the Frog by marrying Prince Naveen. For fact number 7, we're going to talk about the colors of the Madrigal's clothes. When watching Encanto, it doesn't take long to notice that Julieta and Augustine's children wear clothing of the cool colors blue, purple, and green, while Peppa and Felix's children's clothes are the warm colors yellow, red, and orange. This is no accident. Even after narrowing the members of the Madrigal family from the original idea I talked about in Fact 5, the creators wanted some way to set Julieta's daughters apart from Peppa's children. There's actually a lot more symbolism on each character's outfit when you look more closely, but those are details for another time. One thing you ought to know now is that their outfits are connected to the next fact. For our 8th fact, we're going to talk about one of the most prominent themes in this movie. The story of Encanto went through many changes from its initial inception to its final product, but one thing about it has been true from the start. It was going to be a movie about family. This is quite fitting since the importance of family is a key cultural value in Latinx culture, and Colombians are no exception. The Madrigals might be a tight-knit family that looks out for each other and has each other's backs at the end of the day, but they definitely have some complex dynamics, lofty expectations, rivalries, bitterness, and resentment towards each other, just like families across all cultures in the real world. As I've previously mentioned, the Encanto team went so far as to interview family psychologists and therapists so that they could give the Madrigals a realistic dynamic. Did you already know all the facts I just shared? If not, which one intrigued you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and if you want more, all you have to do is click subscribe. But also make sure to tap the bell icon so your phone goes off every time I post new content. While you wait for my next video, check out some of the content up on your screen. And also see what I have to offer beyond YouTube by following me on TikTok and Instagram by clicking the links in your description.